Teachers need to know how to evaluate a resource to determine if it is relevant for their classroom. In this video, we'll go over the basic criteria for evaluating a learning resource. All school boards have policies in place for approving learning resources for their schools. While educators are best suited for choosing resources for their classroom, the board's job is to provide guidelines and ensure teachers are informed on the criteria for selecting resources. Take a moment to review some of the criteria outlined on BC's school board. Let's evaluate a learning resource together by looking at a sample lesson plan. Let's say that I am a grade 7 teacher wanting to teach a unit on Indigenous knowledge passed down through oral history, traditions, and collective memory. I want to supplement my lesson plans with informative, credible, and entertaining non-fiction books. I'm going to conduct a search through Summon, which is a search tool that provides fast, relevance-ranked articles on any topic through UBC Library. When searching for resources, try making a list of synonyms for your keywords. You can also refer to the subjects listed to give you more ideas for synonyms. Let's take a look at this ebook. First, you'll need to make sure that any resource you distribute adheres to copyright laws and legislations. The Copyright Act makes many allowances for education resources to be distributed, but this isn't always a clear process. You'll need to consider the type of material you want to distribute, how much of it you want to distribute, why you're distributing it, and if there are any alternatives to sharing this information. For example, how might I distribute this ebook while adhering to copyright laws? Would it be fair to print out the entire resource for each student? Next, you'll need to evaluate the format of your resource to make sure it's accessible for everyone. All learners are different. Some learn best by looking, others by listening, and some learn best by doing. If I use this resource, I'll need to think about how I can supplement it with videos, activities, or maybe by breaking down pages into more manageable sections. Now let's talk about currency. Currency refers to an article's timeliness. Education is a constantly changing field. You want to make sure the resources you use reflect current pedagogies and classroom practices. Do not feel as though you need to limit yourself to resources published within a certain time. Look at the abstract and consider whether the views reflected are relevant to the curriculum. Relevance refers to the intended audience, course, grade, or reading level of your students and requires you to ask how the resource is relevant to your lesson plan. To determine a resource's relevance, you should refer to the BC curriculum. As this is a Grade 7 Social Studies unit, I'm going to review the BC Grade 7 Social Studies curriculum to ensure this resource addresses the competencies and course content that needs to be covered in this class. I'll also want to make sure that I'm selecting resources that feature Canadian perspectives which are geographically relevant for my students. Authority or positionality refers to the person who wrote or created the resource, their reason for doing so, and their level of expertise in the subject area. It's a good idea to do a quick Google check on the author to get a sense of who they are, their level of expertise in their subject area, and their reason for creating this resource. Look to see if the author cites other research to support their knowledge claims. Remember, not every resource you use for the classroom will need to have a list of references. It will depend on the purpose of the resource and how you intend to use it. You can get a sense of the resource's purpose by reading the publication's abstract, preface, or introduction. Accuracy refers to what a resource is about. You can check for accuracy by looking for common mistakes such as outdated information, improper use of statistics, oversimplified examples, and errors in spelling or grammar. Before using this resource in my classroom, I'll want to look at a physical copy to decide if and how I should incorporate it into my lesson. We've looked at some of the questions you should consider when evaluating a learning resource. You may not be able to answer every question discussed here, and you may need to weigh some factors more heavily than others. Remember, your education librarians are always happy to help you if you have any questions.